Hi everyone, welcome to part one of the Jimny build series. So I thought before I talk about the modifications that I've done to this vehicle and the modifications that I want to do to this vehicle in future, I thought let me first review it after owning it for 28,000 kilometers in 3 years. I'm going to talk about my personal experience and answer some questions that you should know before purchasing one of these vehicles. So what is this? This is a Suzuki Jimny 2023 GLX manual. So let's talk about this car's engine and driveline. So this car has a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder in it, which puts out about 75 kilowatts of power and 130 newton meters of torque. Now, that is not a lot, admittedly, and this car is no rocket ship. In fact, you will not be winning any races anywhere. You can cruise comfortably on the highway at about 100 kilometers an hour, maybe 120 if you're willing to put up with the added fuel usage and noise. It's got solid axles, front and rear, with coil suspension all the way around, which makes it very capable off-road for its small size and short wheelbase. Now, to be honest with you, this car is extremely capable and it can go a lot further than a lot of people think. I've been 4x4ing and off-road with Hiluxes, Land Cruisers, Land Rovers, Ford Rangers, everything in between, and this car really outdoes itself every time. So in some cases, it's more capable than those vehicles as it's so light and it just skims across the top of mud and sand. Now, Suzuki claim this car will do 6.4 liters to 100 kilometers, which in my experience is not very accurate after owning this car for so long. Admittedly, I do have bigger tires, but in my experience, you're going to get around 7 to 8 liters on the highway and around 10 to 12 liters around town in this car. Now, that doesn't sound so bad for an off-road car, but you have to remember that this car is very small. And for a small car, that's truly, truly bad. This car only has a 35-liter petrol tank from factory, which with these tires has given me about 350 k's of range per tank around town and around 400 to 450 k's of range on the highway. Now, often when I think of the fuel figures, to make myself feel better, I compare it to other off-road cars because that makes you feel a bit better about yourself. But when you compare it to other small cars, it's really is not that ideal. But we'll talk in a future video about how I've changed that. Let's talk about the interior of this car. Well, the front is 2 seats like any other car, and it is quite spacious. For two people, two taller people, 6'2", 6'3", you would still be quite comfortable in this car. I do like that this interior is definitely more function over form. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. I mean, there's lots of scratchy plastics everywhere, but there is good function. The passenger side has a grab handle for when you're off-roading. You have your cruise control and your sound controls in your GLX model. And also in the GLX model, you get the 7-inch touchscreen, which it's okay. You know, it's not the fastest thing in the world. Unfortunately, in South Africa, we don't get the built-in navigation, but that's fine. Most people just use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto anyway. I mean, that's what I do. You can just use the USB port and plug in your phone, and that gives you your Android Auto or your CarPlay. But what I've found is the best is just a wireless CarPlay dongle that you just plug into the USB port, and that works great. I have had some issues in the past with this USB port not detecting the device, but that seems to have sort of resolved itself. I have heard from other Jimny owners that it is a common issue. So yeah, you get your AC controls, and I will say in this car, the aircon is very good. For its size, there is only AC vents in the front, one on each side and two in the middle, but it is a very good aircon. In the middle, you've got your gear lever, your manual range selector, and a manual handbrake. I'm not a fan of the electronic handbrakes. In my experience, they break a lot, and so manual one is great, especially if you want to slide it around a bit. The only thing I will say that I haven't really enjoyed and has bugged me about this car is that it only comes stock with 2 cup holders here centrally. So I've added another 2 on each side, and that's been great. The more cup holders, the better. In this car, you do also get mirrors in your sunshades, which is a nice little touch. Now on the driver's side, you have, on the GLX model, you have headlight washers if you get mud on them or something. Just a nice little feature. You don't really use it that much, but it's just nice to have. And you also get electronic mirror adjustment, which is very nice to have. These seats are quite comfortable, and I've found on long cruises, on long trips, these seats are quite comfortable, and these side bolsters really do hold you in and hug you nicely, which is quite a nice feature of this car. The sound system, admittedly, it's not amazing. It's okay. I mean, I'd rather do other things before changing the sound system, and for most people, you don't need an upgraded sound system. Now, the seating position in this car is really nice. Although it's a small car, you do sit nice and high up, which gives you great visibility out of the large windscreen and large side windows. I don't find that there's really any blind spots. It's quite easy to just turn your head and look out these back windows to see if there's anyone there. Otherwise, the mirrors do give you great visibility. The seat is manually adjustable, as well as the backrest, which I don't mind. Although, yes, it is a relatively expensive car for its size, I don't mind. Suzuki does like to rather keep function over form. So yes, electric seats are, well, that's nice, but it's just one less thing that can break, you know, with the manual seats. Same thing with the key. This car has a regular key that slides into the ignition, nothing keyless. And so if the battery dies on the key, you can still start the car. This car does have central locking, which is quite nice, and it's really a given on any modern car. Um, the one thing that I don't like is that from factory, this car does not come with a speed lock. So what that means is when you start driving, the doors automatically lock. You do have to lock them manually each time, but you can buy an aftermarket speed lock that then locks the doors for you. Now, this car has been questioned by a lot of people for its practicality. And a lot of people say, oh, your car is so impractical, and they have opinions about it. Now, this car, as you can see, does have 4 seats. The 2 back seats are up, and there's about 20 centimeters gap where you can fit a couple bags, some backpacks, whatever it might be, some shopping. And this is how I generally like to keep my car, because these back seats being up also shields people from looking in the back and seeing if there's anything there and breaking into car and stealing it. Unfortunately, that is the reality of living in South Africa. But really, this car is not the most practical. And a lot of people do say that. But if I do this and fold the back seats down, all of a sudden you have around a cubic meter of loading space, which is plenty, especially if you're just 2 people going on a trip, a weekend getaway. This car really does have enough space for that. I've been on a 2,000-kilometer road trip with 3 people and all our stuff in this car, so it is possible to do things. One of my favorite things and little Easter egg features about this car is that the seat belts can actually retract up to the side, so you don't constantly have this seat belt hanging on both sides. The GLX model does come with a toolbox that fits into this little space here, but I've taken it out for this video. And under this little floor, you have your jack, your spanner, and everything you need to change a tire on this car. In the back, you do also get one cigarette outlet over here, and as you suppose for anyone sitting in the back, they can charge their phones. But what I mostly use it for is actually powering my fridge when I have my fridge in here for when I'm camping. The back seats in this car are a little bit cramped. It's perfectly fine for children or shorter adults. I'm 5'6" and I have plenty of headroom, a bit of leg room, especially if I'm sitting behind another shorter person. The person in the back does have enough space. The seat itself, it's a bench seat, and you are quite close to this person next to you. I will admit that, because the wheel arches here give like this little shelf where you can put stuff and lean on it if you want to. There is back seat belts, of course, and grab handles if you're going off-road. It is comfortable enough for an hour or 2. Anything longer than that, you will start to get a bit cramped, especially if there's 2 people back here. But for 1 person, it is actually enough space for a decent drive, maybe a couple 100 Ks. So in my personal experience Should you buy one of these cars? Well, that depends what your needs are. If you are a father with a family, with a wife and 3 children, no, you shouldn't. It's not built for that. If you are a student, you're young, in your 20s, 30s, it's just you and your partner, and you like to 4x4, you like to camp, but you also have a job in town or you like to drive around the town a lot, this car is perfect for that. It's very small, so it's easy to park. It's very capable off road, and it is practical enough if you're just 2 people. Even if you need to carry an extra person or drop someone off, 3 people, 4 people, that's not a problem for this car, especially just around town. I don't know what it is about this car. Yes, it is not powerful and it is quite slow, but it is so fun to drive. The feeling of driving this car, it's very engaging. The steering is very light. It is quite sharp. The throttle response is very good. The brakes are good. The feel of the gear lever is really good. So this car, although it's not powerful like a lot of sports cars these days, and people want to buy these sports cars for the feeling of driving, this car gives you such a similar experience in that it's just such a character to drive. And it really is a lot of fun to drive. If you are maybe retired and your kids are living outside the house, this car is also great for you. For a mom, a dad, granny, grandpa, this car really is great for that. The biggest thing I love about the Jimneys is the community behind it. Everyone that has a Jimny, regardless of their background, their age, where they're from, it's just such a great community. Everyone's so friendly, or everyone's always keen to help, always keen to go have fun, whether you're playing in the dunes or going on longer trips. So much fun with this car. In this car, I've had so many great experiences, and whether it's been off-road, it's been camping, long driving trips, it's just been so great. And every time I get in this car again, it makes me so happy to be in it. And it's really such a fun experience owning this car and driving this car. Yes, it has its flaws. It's not the most practical. It's not the most fuel efficient. It's not the most expensive, most luxurious car. But that's not what this is about. This car is about having fun and having a great experience. And that really is what it gets you. So if you can afford to buy one of these cars and you don't need a large practical car, or maybe you have enough money for a fun third car, whatever it might be, I would definitely recommend one of these cars. Suzuki also has such a great dealership network, and they've been so great with servicing and warranties and everything like that. These cars are very reliable. Not that you often need to have breakages or you often need to go to Suzuki for something. I've had this car for 3 years and I do plenty of off-roading and camping with it. And I've never had any issues that need to go to Suzuki, just a yearly service. And they really have been great. The other part of owning a Jimny is that these cars are like Lego bricks. You can modify them so extensively. And if you have the money and you want to, you have unlimited options of what you can do to these cars. You can do suspension to long range tanks to the interiors. Really is a blank canvas. So would I recommend one? Yes, 100%. If you can get a Jimny, I would get them. You see so many of them here in the Western Cape in South Africa, and for a good reason. They are just such great fun cars.